Flipping houses is one of the fastest ways to make money in real estate, and on today's video, I'm gonna share with you how I made $4,000 in 20 minutes. All right, welcome back. Jerry Norton here, and this is another video here on the Real Estate Freedom TV channel. Everything we talk about, everything we focus on in these videos is how to help you master real estate investing so that you can live your dream life. And on today's video, I want to share with you a deal that I did where I made $4,000 in about 20 minutes worth of work. Now, this is a driving for dollars technique that I did, driving for dollars. So if you haven't heard of that term, we did a whole series on driving for dollars, what that is, how to do it, how to be effective with it. So you can watch that. We put a playlist together. You can go to the playlist here in my channel and watch those videos. But this is all about driving for dollars, or this was while I was doing a technique known as driving for dollars. And let me share with you how this worked. This is so exciting on this deal. So driving for dollars is when you basically just get in your car and you drive up and down the streets within your market and you're looking for opportunities. You're looking for distressed vacant houses that you can then contact the owner and make an offer to buy their property. And what happened was I was doing this technique and I was driving down this street and I saw this house that was here on the side of the street here, and on the front of the door it had a big condemned sign, condemned. So the city had condemned this property. Now for me that was a red flag that this is a problem, right? This is a distressed property, there's a major problem here. And so I got out and I went up to the window and I was just kind of taking a look at this, and I noticed this for sale by owner sign. And so I thought, okay, whoever owns this property, you know, they didn't take care of it. The city came and condemned it. That's not good. And I looked in the windows and I could see that on the inside it was all gutted out. So it didn't have any of the drywall. It was just the 2x4 studs in the house. So I saw the sign there and I called up the seller and I said, hey, I just drove by your house. I see you got this sign out and it looks like the property's condemned. And I just took a peek in the windows. It looks like it's pretty boarded up. It was a small little house, maybe, I don't know, 850 square feet. And I talked to the seller and I said, okay, well, what do you want for this property? Now keep in mind, this is Detroit, so this is really low-end market here. And the seller said, I want $11,000 for this house. And I said, you know, it's condemned. That's a lot of work, and because I got to bring it now out of condemnation, I got to work with the city. It looks like it's gutted on the inside. I said, the most I can pay for this house is $4,000. And the seller said, you know what? I just want to get rid of this thing. I'll do it. I'll take your $4,000. And I said, okay, awesome. So give me your information. I'll send you over a contract and we'll get a contract signed. And so he said, yeah, no problem. I'll be around later. Get that to me. And so I made an agreement with him, a verbal agreement for $4,000. Now I needed to follow up with the paperwork, right? But I made a verbal agreement for $4,000. So that conversation was about 10 minutes. Now I knew my market. I knew 4,000 was a good number. If I could get it for 4,000, I was happy. So I got that deal. So I turned around and went to leave. And so here I was, here's the street. So I went this way and I was just going on my next street, was looking at these houses, and I turned this way and I'm going down this next street here and I'm looking left, right. This is what you do, driving for dollars. It's just driving your market. And I saw right here, right around the corner, a house. And what was happening was there were contractors on the roof and they were redoing the roof. So they were contractors and they were replacing the roof. Now that's one of my techniques for finding cash buyers, is to look for renovations taking place on homes. So I figured, you know what, there's contractors on the roof. There's a good chance that this is an investor and they're fixing up one of their properties. So I pull over and I step out of my car and I call up to the guy's work and I say, hey, I'm looking for the owner of this property. I have a house down the street that he might be interested in buying. And I'm just assuming that it's an investor, right? I didn't know. And the guy up on the roof says, hold on a second, I'll come down and talk to you. So I wait, he climbs down the ladder and he comes up to me and he says, I own this property and this is my rental property. and these are my guys, and we're fixing the roof. He was actually one of those landlords that works on his own properties, so because he was up on the roof working. And I said, okay, great, you know, what's your name? We started talking a little bit, and he says, well, what do you mean you have a property? I said, well, right around the corner, I have a house that I'm looking to sell. Are you interested? He said, yeah, you know, I own about 25 properties. I'm always looking for another deal. Let's go take a look at it. And I said, all right, let's go. He says, I'll just jump in your car and you can drive me over there. Okay, so he gets in my car. We go back down, drive over, pull over here, and we get to the property. And he gets out and he says, can we go in? And I said, no, I don't have a key for it. I just have a contract on the property, and I'm just looking to flip my contract. Now, at this point, this is literally 10 minutes later. I don't have anything in writing. I just have a verbal. But he does the same thing I do. He goes up, he looks in the window. I said, you know, it is condemned. He says to me, well, what do you want for the property? I say to him, $10,000. Remember, what's my contract? I have a verbal. I don't even have a contract yet. I have a verbal for $4,000. I tell him, you know, I really want to get $10,000 for it. He says, will you take 8? And I said, you know what? I'll make 8 work. Let's make 8 work. I can do 8. So we settled on 8,000. And so we settled on 8,000. At this point, I got nothing, right? I just have a verbal and a verbal. I said, you know what? Let me meet you back here later this evening. I got to run around and do some stuff. I'll have the paperwork that we can sign, and we can close in a couple weeks for 8,000. He said, great, let's do it. I'll meet you back here at 6 o'clock or whatever time we said. Now, what I did is I hurried up, got my contract with the seller. This was 15 years ago when I first got started in this business. So I faxed the seller my purchase and sale contract. He signed it and faxed it back. Then I went to my cash buyer and met him back at the property, and we signed an assignment for $4,000, and then we closed and I made $4,000. Now, my total time on this whole deal was about 20 minutes. From the time that I got out of my car, called on this property, to the time I drove over here, talked to this guy, went back, was about 20 minutes. Now I had a little more time in, you know, the paperwork and the closing and stuff, but my point with this is I made a $4,000 wholesale deal in about 20 minutes of time. Why? Because I was driving for dollars. I drove past a vacant, distressed property. I got out, I talked to the seller, I made an offer, I got a contract, verbal at the beginning, and I wasn't afraid to go talk to somebody else I saw on a roof and say, hey, I got a deal around the corner, let's make a deal here. And just talking, getting out there, networking, not being afraid to do this in my market. Young kid, no skills, no experience, no background, no nothing, just willing to hustle and get out there and make offers. And made $4,000. That's how cool this business is. Now, think about this. What if you could learn how to do things like this? What if you could learn how to wholesale properties? $4,000, I didn't own it, I didn't fund it, I didn't come out with any money. I just lined up a motivated seller, got a contract, found a cash buyer, assigned my contract, made $4,000. Isn't that awesome? Okay, hope you found that helpful. Hope they found that exciting. You can do this business. Make sure to subscribe to my channel where you can learn all about strategies to learn how to do this, make money in real estate, live your dream life. And this is Jerry Norton, and I'll see you on the next video.